music serves as a universal language that connects people on a profound, intangible level. But how do musicians do this? I'm Warren Buchholz, Jazz Brand Manager at WUSF, and I am on a mission to find out.
Whether you give up or you give it your best, it's hard not to feel like we're failing the test, 'cause tragedies happen.
Meet Hayes Carll. He's a singer, songwriter known for blending country and folk music together. His music, like poetry. He's released 10 albums, his current one being We're Only Human, and he's performing at Skipper's Smokehouse on November 4th. For more information on this show, check out skippersmokehouse.com. I hope you enjoy my conversation with Hayes Carll. Hi, Hayes. Thank you so much for taking a little bit of time to talk with me.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
You're coming to Skipper's Smokehouse on November 4th.
Yeah.
That's exciting. You've been to Tampa before, and
Yeah, I've been to Tampa several times, and I played Skipper's once, but it's been years. I've gone over for dinner on an off night before.
Very cool.
So I'm really looking forward to getting back there.
Awesome. And you live in Austin right now?
I'm in Nashville.
Nashville. All right.
Yeah, I was in Austin for about a decade, but I've been in Nashville for about 7 years now.
Very cool. I'm actually taking my first trip to Texas in December. We're going to go to Austin as well, and yeah, I'm excited. I've never experienced Texas before. So.
Okay, well, it's an experience. Austin's great. You'll have a good time.
Awesome. Well, your new album, We're Only Human, came out a little while ago, and just the beauty of this album, the introspection that comes with it. I love High. I love, of course, Progress of Man. That's a beautiful tune. Can you kind of walk me through what inspired you to create this album?
I think I was just struggling with life. I've been running into the same walls for decades.
Yeah.
And just in the idea of having the same conversations with myself 10 years from now, that I've been having all these years just became unbearable to me. And so started doing a lot of personal work, trying to sort some things out, and it found its way into my art.
You really focus on finding grace for each other as well as forgiveness for ourselves. Ever since creating this album, what kind of personal work have you been doing to kind of come to terms with the issues you've been struggling with?
Oh, yeah, there's several of them. A couple of the songs like High and Stay Here a While are pretty specific to, I have a racing brain, I'm sure like a lot of people, but it's just my attention issues and my inability to sit with myself and be present in the moment has really left me wanting in a lot of ways. And I think it's made my life less enjoyable. And just always chasing some kind of hit, some kind of high, some kind of distraction. And so in regards to that, I do a lot of meditating these days, a lot of journaling, anything just to still my brain. I equate it to a snow globe. It's like it's always shooken up, and it's really hard to see anything. And my favorite moments of the day are when I can still my mind, and then just that helps me be present. I'm nowhere near where I would like to be, but I'm on the path. I see the way, and just trying to work every day to get there.
Yeah, it seems like always having to be on is mental overload almost.
Yeah, the world's a mental overload. I mean, I think it's particularly these days. It's
Yeah.
and that's kind of what Bitcoin and cattle or progress of man is about. That song is just the overwhelm of, every time you pick up your phone or turn on the TV or just go to an airport or even have a conversation with somebody. Sometimes it's just everybody has an opinion. Everybody's trying to sell you something. Everybody's has very strong ideas about how we should live and think and act, and don't seem to have any compunction about telling you. And it can just be all overwhelming for me. And I get the sense for a lot of people. And so that was most of this record's a pretty peaceful affair, but that one was more certainly my angriest song, or just my most frustrated one.
Can we talk more about Progress of Man? How did you kind of craft this tune?
Uh it started. I wish I could say I set out with some grand ambition of a concept that I wanted to articulate, but it really just started off with rhyming exercises, like a lot of my songs do. I'm always just putting words together, and so if something tickles my ear, I'll put it into a phone or write it down and save it for later. And um, I had some lines that didn't even end up making the song, but just the rhyme scheme sort of showed itself. And the more I played with it, the more things came up, and I started thinking it could be about something. And I just spent some time with it, trying to figure out what that was. And then I got together with my buddy Aaron Ratier, who's a, a truly unique person and artist in every way. One of the most unique and interesting people I know, personality wise. And he's also like the hottest songwriter in Nashville right now. He's nominated for 2 of the 4 songs for Song of the Year at the CMAs, or ones that he wrote. Um, and he could care less. He's just one of those people that he's just creating all the time, whether it's children's albums or painting or making up the silliest stuff you can imagine, or writing #1 hits. It's just all about creativity for him. And we've written a bunch of songs together. And so I got together at his place and showed him what I had, and he helped me finish it up and just kind of shouted encouragement as I came up with lines. And so that's how we got there, and was happy with how it turned out.
Very cool. Yeah, it's a beautiful song for sure.
Thank you.
You've collaborated with a few people. What's been your biggest takeaway from collaborating with people, musicians?
Songwriting or musically, like in the studio, or
I'd say in the studio. Let's start there.
uh, in the studio. That's never been my comfort zone. I started off as a solo for years before I could find anybody that played an instrument to hang out with me. And then I put together bands over the years, and I've got a fantastic one at the moment. But I'm not a musician per se. Like, I know enough guitar to accompany myself and write songs, um, but I don't know any of the theory behind it, and I'm not particularly adept at it. And so I've always been a little uncertain. It's always very exciting to me when I play music with somebody, because I have no idea what's going to happen, and when they surprise me with something really cool or beautiful, and it can change the direction of a song or a recording. But this is my 10th record, and I finally feel like I'm starting to understand it a bit better. It's just production wise, what goes where and what could add. So I co-produced this with Gordy Quist from Band the Heathens, and he's an infinitely better musician than I am, but together we were able to just kind of go back and forth with ideas and just for the general vibe and mood of the thing, and have a lot of fun with it.
What was your most challenging part of writing We're Only Human, the album?
Uh, it was an interesting one. It's the first time I had ever, my personal life, internal life had ever integrated with my creative world. You know, I've written a bunch of records, a bunch of songs, and maybe I'll have a song where I'm trying to sort something out or telling a personal story or something, but I've never had a record that I put together with that intention. And uh, so it took me a minute to recognize that was what was happening. And then once I got there, it took me a minute to put my tricks away. Like there's a there are all kinds of tools you can use as a writer to um, to tell a story, to paint a picture. Um, but I felt like some of those didn't apply to this. And my main rule was honesty with this is because I wrote it for myself as much or more than anything or anybody. It's like I wanted this to be a guidebook for me because I'm gonna fall off the path and I thought having some of these songs there would be a way to get me back on it. For some of the lessons that I'd been learning for myself and some things I'd sorted out. And so I wanted to codify that and put it in there. So it was just a very different approach where I wasn't coming at it to entertain people, and hopefully, you know, I still use the craft to make it entertaining. I think it's a beautiful record, but it was a very different intention and set of rules to play by. So once I got my head around that, it was quite fun and liberating. It just took a minute to realize this wasn't going to be like anything I'd done before.
I know there's a lot of challenge in this album, but the self-love really, really comes out. It sounds like a love letter to yourself almost. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
thank you. Yeah, that's the idea is love letter to my soul, my spirit, my psyche. Um, you know, it's I think I go through life or went through a lot of life thinking I should have it figured out, or when I fail, it's just decided some kind of moral problem with myself or some just flaw that's unfixable. And I started realizing that life is hard and having a little grace for myself because I do try, you know, and just because I don't get it right all the time doesn't mean I'm a failure. And I just started thinking about like, why? How do you get that thought in your head that you're supposed to be perfect, that you're supposed to have everything figured out? There's no guidebook, you know, for all of life, and um, so I started taking deep breaths and having a little patience and grace for myself, and that led to realizing I need to do it for others as well because we can all use a little support and grace on this journey.
Definitely, definitely. And I think that's, a big problem. We're pushed as young people to think that we need to have it all figured out, especially college or, by the time you're in your late 20s, you're supposed to know exactly who, what, when, where, why, how you're
Yeah,
supposed to be. And I think giving yourself that grace and understanding that uh, you're not, you're, no one's supposed to know exactly what they're supposed to be doing. And, that's part of the fun in life is figuring it out as you go.
for sure. It's so much of it. And my son's 22. He's a senior in college at University of Texas in Austin, and I watch him having these anxieties and fears of like he's supposed to have it sorted out, and it's it's an opportunity for me to come in and say, man, like this is. I know it doesn't feel like it. I remember how uncertain I was, how insecure I was, how anxious I was about so many things. And yes, there is a lot to be said for having some stability and having a path sorted and a career and everything. But don't let that the uh, uh, overshadow like all the great things that you can do right now and that you are doing. Like this is prime time to enjoy yourself, to learn, to explore, to find out who you are, to take chances and have experiences, and not the time to play it safe in life. That time can come, but um, So yeah, we all want to get it sorted out and figure out where we're headed, but it's a process.
All work and no play? Jazz up your day and enjoy performances, listen to curated playlists, and find out about shows and festivals in your area at WUSFjazz.org.
The man on the TV keeps making strange faces. There's folks flying rockets to faraway places. The world's getting turned on by assholes and racists. And it's all progress.
Has our current political climate kind of been changing the way you've been performing or writing music?
Well, I've never been a particularly political songwriter. I have songs that where I address things, sometimes seriously, sometimes as satire. And I've never wanted to shy away from it. I've always felt like having my voice as an artist, that's part of what you do, whatever it is you're passionate about or care about. If that feels like it needs to be a part of your art, then that should be a part of your art. I've been torn at times between how much I wanted it to be there or not. And on this record, yeah, I do. I mean, I feel like we're in the most polarized time and certainly decades, and I struggle with it. I mean, I have a lot of strong feelings and opinions about a lot of different topics and people. But the conclusion I've come to, and I try to send it home on this record and that song "Good People," is I find that if I lead with my differences, if I'm viewing somebody straight off the bat over how they voted or their belief system or their religion or their whatever, I am immediately otherizing them. I'm putting them into a category that then they have to work their way out of, and I'm completely uncurious. And I find if I'm judgmental and uncurious, which go hand in hand pretty well, I'm not sure I like myself a whole lot. And so I'm just sitting around criticizing somebody else. I'm certainly not looking at myself. I'm not open to what I can learn from this person. And I have a lot of, I know a lot of people who are really good people who I know would be there for me in a heartbeat if I needed them. And I see them do good work across the board, who I vehemently disagree with politically. And so I've just been trying to sort through, how do I carry both those things? And I think the key for me anyway is to see them as people first, having a human experience, doing the best they know how to do. And if I can relate to them on that level, then we can argue about politics, but do it with respect or in a way that is not making us both smaller and lesser as people.
Good people. Yeah.
Good people.
So you're at Skipper Smokehouse on November 4th. What can audiences expect from this show?
Well, we got a full band. My band's called the Gulf Coast Orchestra. I grew up on the coast, I started my career on the coast of Texas, outside of Galveston Island. And so I have an affinity for coastal towns for sure. And so we're a 6-piece, and it'll run the gamut. I mean, I play. We'll do quite a bit off the new record, but also stuff from across my career, and probably even throw in a couple of tunes by artists I love. But it's a big band show. We can get quiet and intimate, but we can also burn the house down. And I'm just having a blast playing with these people. It's maybe the best band I've ever had.
Very cool. Very cool. Do you have a favorite moment from the tour so far with this band?
Hmm. Uh, it might be playing Austin. We did our second show of the tour was in Austin, and we just had that's my hometown for a long time, and um, we just had a big sold out show, a whole lot of friends and family, and just an amazing crowd, and also those nerves that come from not really having practiced enough or played enough to know whether you can deliver, and when there's 1,000 people out there, it's like I like having a little bit of anxiety around. I don't want to get too comfortable. Now, that won't be an issue when we come to Tampa, though. We got the show. We know the songs now. So we're just going to cut loose and have fun.
Very cool. What does behind the scenes practicing look like for this show? How do you collaborate with one another?
Before the tour started, we just took 3 or 4 days and holed up in a sound studio, rehearsal studio, and went through everything. And then once we get on the road, we use sound checks as our rehearsal time. So we got a couple hours. We'll make sure everything's dialed in. And then if there's a song or two we want to work on, or somebody messed up the night before, we'll talk it through and figure it out, or work up new material. That's the fun part when you get into that groove of, the 30 or so songs that you had set out to have as options, and then you can start adding 1 or 2 a week and keep it fresh for ourselves and for the audience.
How do you know when you're on that same wavelength with each other when you're playing, like not having to really verbally communicate to one another? What does that look like?
It just feels like a thing. It's you just know. Everybody knows. It's a strange language, and one I'm not particularly proficient in, but after 4,000 shows or something, I don't know what I've played. I may be exaggerating, but 25 years I've been at it, and actually longer than that, 28 years, and you just know if it feels right, and you know when people are guessing or uncertain or just having a bad night. And so it's a really special feeling when you're up there and everything's just flowing together. 6 people are locked in. And then when the audience is there with you and on a certain wavelength, it's a magical feeling. That's what we do it for. Cool. The nights like that.
Well, thank you so much for taking some time to speak with me today. You'll be at Skipper Smokehouse on November 4th. It seems like it's going to be a magical show. I'm excited for it.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, it's going to be great. And Joe B. Riccio is going to open the show, and she's a fantastic singer-songwriter here in Nashville. And we're really looking forward to it.
Hey, thanks for listening. Be sure to visit WUSFjazz.org to watch local jazz performances, find jazz events throughout Florida, listen to curated Spotify playlists, and a whole lot more. WUSFjazz.org. Today's audio was recorded by Jackson Harp, production assistance by Chandler Balcom and Malika Hollist, audio edited by Scott Wackler. I'm Warren Buckles, host. Studio Sessions is a product of WUSF and is sponsored by Community Foundation Tampa Bay, with support from the Palladium, the Gobioff Foundation, and by you. Thank you for your support. Learn more about jazz on Arts Axis Florida by visiting our website at WUSFjazz.org. Copyright 2025, WUSF.